Hi, I'm Andy Matthews. I've been with the Rescue 8 station for 33 years. I started here in 1988 as a controller when we were still in the old shed over next to the slipway. And we built the new building in 1990 approximately. Then we moved over, and I was posted to the vessel eventually when we got the big vessel Spirit of Rotary. I was a engineer on board the vessel. I was doing all the maintenance on the engines and that kind of stuff, and also going to sea. It was for about 5 or 6 years I was at sea, and I came ashore again, and since then I've been back as a controller. I am now the station's senior controller. In the old days, when we were down in the station next to the slipway there, we never had computers and tracking systems and all the things that we've got today. We're sitting here in our modernized control room now. So you can see the control room, the radios. We've got more radios in there. Before we only had one radio. We used to use a 29 meg radio, which we don't use anymore. We now got trunking radios, which we can talk to the boat. We can actually talk to other stations right up in KwaZulu-Natal, all over the show with the new trunking radio. And when we were in the old base down there, we didn't even have a toilet in that base. So it was quite stressful, especially sitting on a long operation where the boat's been out there for a good couple of hours. In those days we had the old 8-meter gullwing Spirit of Mobile. It was a little, I think it was Renata Levy built boat, and we never even had GPS or anything on the vessel at that time. The vessel was navigated by using Decker. There was a Decker unit on the vessel, which was quite difficult to use because it was all the different chains and that kind of thing. And then they slowly but surely developed the GPSs, and we started having a GPS on board, all that kind of thing. And then in around about 1989, we started under Ken Brady's leadership. We started building the current base that we're in now, which is a double-story building with the big vessel fits in underneath the base. And there we've got our own ablution facilities, and we've got everything that we need in the station. As I said, with the modernization of the ops room now over the last year or two, we've got all this new modern equipment that helps us to track the boats and keep wherever the boat is going, we know where they are. So it helps tremendously. As a controller, we know where the boat is and what's going on. And then, of course, with the radio communications, it has improved quite a bit with the new aerials that we put up, and so the station is running very nicely now, especially in the ops room side, all that kind of stuff. In about 1998, we had a rescue operation that there was a ski boat that was missing in the fog. He thought he was off Stankop Light, and so we went down to Stankop. We was looking for him. So we were looking for this boat in the fog, and he gave us a sort of a position where he thought he was there of Stankop Light. But when we were out there, he only had a 29 meg radio at that time. So on the vessel we had the 29 meg and the VHF direction finder. And when we asked him to give us a countdown on the radio, we locked onto him with a DF, and we discovered that he wasn't actually where he thought he was. He was much further north, up towards Cape Town way, because that's the direction that the direction finder was actually sending us. So we went on a little cruise, and then looking for him. The fog was very thick, and visibility was down to about 50 meters. And we eventually found him off Greenpoint Lighthouse. He was way past where we thought he was. And we had to come back in the fog still, so we used the radar, and we navigated by navigation, coming back with the radar, and we got safely back to the harbour. We got him in safe, no problem. Yeah, it's also about one of the major calls that we did here in Hapag was the Moroshka. Was a whale watching boat that went out. The sea was a bit rough, was a bit of a wind blowing that day, and she started taking on water, and she turned over, and we were called, subsequently called. There was a number of other stations involved. I was the duty controller on that day, and when I arrived here, all I saw was people and boats running in and out of the harbour, and the late Margie Benson, she was here assisting. Brad Gieser was actually the job commander at the time, and he started giving me orders to go and do this and go do that, and I was running around all over the show. And eventually he called me back into the ops and he asked me to man one of the radios because we were communicating with some of the private boats that took the police divers and the metro divers out to the vessel. There was three ladies that were actually trapped in the boat, that the boat was upside down. Well, it was very chaotic here. There was Metro was here, the Metro rescue people were here. They started setting up a triage area where people were coming in, and there was people in real panic mode. They were looking for their husbands, they were looking for their daughters, they were looking for their wives. So it was quite chaotic. It was. And then once all the people were brought ashore, obviously there was our medics and the Metro medics were triaging them, making sure that they were all okay, and warming them up because they were been in the water for quite a while. It was cold. And then, but it was really chaotic. But eventually it all settled down, and we started sorting out all the problems, getting everything sorted out. And it was really a real eye-opener to me as a controller, because that was one of the biggest operations that I've done as a controller ever in the station, all my years that I've been here. My advice to the new crew that's joining the base now, enhance what you learn. You've got lots of opportunities to learn things, and use those opportunities. There's lots of things on the internet, and the NSRI have got their training academy, which you can use to learn a lot of things about how to operate with sea rescue and all that kind of thing. So the best thing to do is go on those things, and then go on courses that you offered, and so that you can learn more and learn the whole operation of sea rescue. That's very good. Your commitment is very, how can I say, you've got to be committed to be able to take, and you've got to be patient to be able to do all these kind of things, and you've got to have the backing of your family, really. So yeah, it's a good thing to be involved in. It's a lot of hard work at times, and you get late night calls, you get things. It can be quite difficult at times. It's good.